All right. I'm back and trying this thing again. We don't give up. Greetings and welcome back once again. This is the morning Israel. YouTube, man. They be switching it up on that kid. But let me go ahead and see if you guys can hear me. And if so, then we will get this party started. Nope, that's not the right one. Hoo, hoo, hoo. How is everybody doing today? Hope you are doing well. All right, you can hear and see. Well, look at that. You learn something new every day. YouTube, YouTube, YouTube. Okay. I said, you know what? I have some of these courses sitting down. And before I get into these discussions um, about polygamy, polygyny, and we go off into the realm of what we reimagine life to be like, I said, let me go ahead and share, since it's sitting there. Hold on, let me see here. That's okay. This is a course I did some time ago, and I'm going to go ahead and give it to you today for free. You can hear me? All right, awesome. All right, greetings and welcome everyone. So this course is called Polygamy 101. It's over at the Soul Center, okay? And so we're going to go through a little bit at a time. I'm not going to do the whole thing. And it's just, this one was basically an overview. There's a number of courses over there, including Solonomics. But we're going to talk about exploring polygamy today. That's why I named it this, right? Let me see if you guys are following along and if it's changing the screen as I am changing the screen. Let me see here. So being that this is my first time remembering this, let me see if the screen changes because I changed the screen because there might be a delay is what I'm saying. I changed the screen like a good 10 seconds now and it hasn't yet changed on this side, which is weird. Come on, computer man. Don't be hating on the kid. Why is the screen not changing? If the screen is not changing, I'm just going to have to go ahead and just talk you guys through it. It should be following up to what I'm doing. I don't know why the screen is not changing. Anywho, I don't know. I'm just going to read it out to you guys. This is what it looks like when you get there. And anywho, let's first define uh, polygamy. Okay? Can anybody drop in the box a definition of polygamy according to your thought process? Drop in the box if you can a definition of polygamy according to your thought process. And yes, I'm buying a little time to mess around here to see why it's not showing. Anyone? Go ahead. Why not? Take a gander. Unplug my phone up. What is polygamy? Don't look it up now. If we go into a classroom and somebody throws off the top of the dome polygamy, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? How do you define that? Anybody? All right. I'm gonna give y'all a few more seconds here, and then we're gonna go into it. Don't be, at this point, they like to say there is a right and wrong answer, but the reality is one of the things that I've learned over the years is that one of the things that leads to miscommunication is definitions. Because we each, hold on, close the door. We each have our own definitions and our own thought processes. Okay, Teresa. All right. Hey, Kami, welcome to the discussion. We just started, so no worries. I don't know why it's not scrolling. I'll have to work on that afterwards, but I'm not going to spend any more time this time. So, we hear many wives. Okay, the word polygamy, but we're going to go marriage types. The institution of marriage is a common thread that ties humanity together. So this is not just one. You can't just say only people in the Bible got married or only people in antiquity. It's common amongst all nationalities, all peoples. It may represent itself differently, but it's something that's common. This social construct, which is what it is, spans across time and the globe, changing as society and tradition dictates. So it's not necessarily that the institution of marriage itself is changing. The way people are perceiving what marriage is changing. And by doing so, the people change the rules to marriage, right? Several different marriage models exist. For the purpose of this course, we will be examining the model of polygamy. So I'll say that again. At different times throughout life and throughout the history of man, there has been different model types or marriage types. That I'm not saying right, wrong at this point. I'm just saying what is at this point. I'm not judging what it is or what it isn't. Close the door and go back. Okay, so polygamy is a broad, overarching term used to describe persons or either sect engaging in marriage to many spouses. So polygamy with the GAMY is not specific to one man and multiple wives, but we'll get into that. The term comes from late Greek, and I'm not going to attempt to read that Greek but I'm going to read the translation. Polygamia means state of marriage to many spouses. This is what they're saying it means. State of marriage to many spouses. Let me know if you can still hear me. We're just getting started. This is just the first one on that particular one. So polygamy, again, is the state of marriage to many spouses. Involves marriage with more than one spouse. Being married to more than one wife at a time is called polygyny, Gyny. We know poly means many, right? Being married to more than one husband at a time is called polyandry, Andry. If a marriage includes multiple husbands and wives, it's called a group marriage. Now, when you're coming from the biblical perspective, right away everybody's going to, oh no, we don't do the other two, just polygyny. Again, for the purposes of getting an understanding of what we're looking at and the fact that people, and greetings to those who've just joined us, from all walks of life and different societies and different time periods have adopted different marriage models. It doesn't determine whether or not that's how the creator desired it. It just determines that this is what these people did at different times. So we're just discovering the what right now. We're not going into a whole lot of other stuff. So once again, to recap, you have polygyny, which is more than one wife or woman. Like you go to the GYN, right? So more than one woman. Polyandry, you have this multiple men to this one woman. And then you have this group marriage where it's all mixed up in there, okay? I had some little tutorial pictures for you guys, but once again, as we said, this thing is not working. Don't know why. So I'm just going to have to read through it. Okay. Wait, let me go back. We skipped. We skipped. Okay, so to recap, what type of marriage structure has one woman with multiple husbands? And you put it in the chat for me. Which one is it? Is it polyandry, polygyny, or group marriage? What type of marriage structure has one woman with multiple husbands? Anybody? What type of marriage? We just went over it. What type of marriage structure has one woman with multiple husbands? Polyandry, polygyny, or group marriage? I don't know if I'm delayed on you guys' side, but we're going to work with it here. This is interactive space, so don't be shy. Don't be shy. While I'm trying to fix this here. This thing should be following. Unlock access to this content. See, what's up with that? Anywho, any feedback? All right. No, we're going to save that for, I'm not going to give it to you because I just did. So we're going to come back to that. Let's see here. I wonder if it's because it has a lock on it and it's not a straight website that it doesn't let you guys see, although I'm already logged in. That might be the reason. Hold on one second. Let me see if that's the reason. Yeah, that might be the reason. I'm sorry, I'm giving y'all time while what marriage has one woman and multiple men? What's the name of that marriage structure? Let's see here. We're going to see if y'all get the answer here. Why is this important? It gets important when we begin to try to have discussions and we try to reason with logic that has been used in time past. And sometimes the way we approach this topic, it doesn't progress the discussion basically because we the people result to similar tactics. Let me see if you guys see this. Hold on a second. I'm trying to see if you see this. Doo-doo-doo-doo. This is a class interactive, so okay, you do see it. Let me see if you see it when it moves. It's a very long delay, man. YouTube, what it be like? This is a very long delay. Polyandry. Thank you, Trisha. Polyandry. Maybe it's a long delay on my side. Okay, so polyandry, let's review. This, I just wanted to see if it works on Wikipedia or if you can see me moving the screen. If you can see me moving the screen. So polyandry is many, poly is many, android, like androgynous man, is a form of polygamy. So polygamy is the overarching um, category group, right? It's the catch-all. And then all of these things, polygyny, polyandry, and this multiple group thing fits under what is called polygamy, the umbrella. It says it is in which a woman takes two or more husbands at the same time. Polyandry is contrasted with polygyny, involving one male and two or more females. If a marriage involves a plural number of husbands and wife participants of each gender, then it is called polygamy, group or joint marriage. In its broadest use, polyandry refers to sexual relationships with multiple males within or without marriage. Okay? And I just wanted to see if my screen moves while it does. I don't know how much it's moving, but anywho, at any rate, let me go ahead and put this thing back here. Browser. I don't think it shows you guys, so let me just give you guys the picture while I'm talking. How about that? All right. All right, next page. I said exploring polygyny as a marriage construct. So now, within biblical terms, in most spaces, even amongst Islam, you're not going to see polyandry and you're not going to see group marriage. It's not moving, right? I have to figure that out, sis. So I'm just going to throw a picture up there while we continue to have the conversation because I don't know why it's not moving. So we're going to just talk about the one that is on many people's mind, which is this thought of polygyny, Gyny, multiple women. Okay. In the next few modules, we'll be going into a further definition of the three marriage structures as it relates to polygyny. So we already discussed that poly means many in any of these cases, and gyny or gyne is woman or wife. I think it's important to note at this time that if you're coming from a biblical standpoint, there is not a separate word for wife within the scripture. This is going to be important later on. There's not a separate word for wife. It all is the possessive pronoun that's going to determine whether or not it's just a woman, that woman, or your woman. Okay? The term, as before stated, deals with one masculine or male figure having many women and loosely referenced wife. Okay? It is interesting to note that the Greek term for woman is transposed for the term wife in this case. So remember, they can say it's many women or wife. The same thing that's happening in Hebrew is the same thing that they're saying is happening in Greek. So again, people may say, oh, you have multiple wives, but it also can be translated as women. And then at another time, we would have to discuss what is the difference or similarities, the contrast between a wife and a woman. I mean, a wife and a woman. It's getting late, y'all. I went to the yummy today. A wife and a woman. Okay. So polygyny has two possible meanings based on these definitions. It can mean many women or many wives. Okay. One would have to define what makes or distinguishes a woman from a wife in order to properly apply the term polygyny to a marriage. Because what I'm basically saying here is just, if you strip down the word, it's just saying many women. And depend on the nation, depend on the context, depend on the location, is going to determine whether or not they're actually wives or they're just women. What makes the difference? Feel free to share your thoughts in the room. So far, to recap, we have discussed that polygamy, if you hear somebody keep saying polygamy, it's the overarching umbrella term. Underneath that term is all of these multiple marriage strategies, which are polygamy, and this group marriage conversation. Okay. Polygyny as a lawful marriage structure. Okay, there's a map that you're not going to be able to see. If you take the course, maybe you'll see it, but for right now, it's not working for me. So in this map that I showed, there was a map of the world. In blue, within the map, which is like about 3/4 of this map. I wish you could see the map, man, but 3/4 of this map is in blue, and that's where polygamy is legal. Okay. In the gray areas, legal status is unknown. In the green area, polygamy is only legal for Muslims. In the dark blue area, it is illegal, but practice is not criminalized. And in the black areas, it is illegal and practice is criminalized. So this is why am I doing this? Because sometimes when people maybe come to the religion, or they come to the Bible, they come to the Quran, or they come to a space where polygyny is promoted. It's this is what you're going to need to enter into the kingdom, to have spiritual babies, which is a whole other conversation, right? And not realizing that if you broaden the scope, this marriage strategy appears at different times in history with different peoples and cannot be solely claimed by one set or group of people. Okay. Polygyny as an unlawful marriage structure. So remember, I gave the map, and the reason I gave the map is to kind of look at the way in which governments across the world view polygyny and whether or not in some spaces it's legal or illegal. I know for those who expected to come and think like, yeah, she getting turned up, da 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 da. No, not today. This is just an informational session, and we could have the spirited conversations at another time. Polygyny as an unlawful marriage structure. In several countries around the world, the institution of polygyny is banned. In these places, one who violates this marital prohibition is termed a bigamist. Okay? So, a bigamy is the act of entering into marriage with one person while still legally married to another. So, remember, before we saw that the word in itself does not determine whether or not the wives collected onto oneself or the women are actually wives. One cannot commit bigamy unless it is that they are legally married to two people at the same time. Let me know if you guys are still there, if you're following along. If I need to slow down, let me know. If a man enters into more than one marriage agreement concurrently, any subsequent marriage is void. That is very interesting. Again, we're looking at the term bigamy, what it is, and what uh, is a result of someone entering into two legal contracts at the same time. In several countries across the globe, this act is seen as a crime and can be punishable by law. According to legalmatch.com, the following are some penalties of committing bigamy in the United States. What is the penalty for bigamy in the United States? And I know some people are going to be like, yo, sis, that's why we don't get marriage contracts. We'll talk about that at another time. Okay. But I'm just giving the facts at this point. Penalties for bigamy are typically about 5 years of prison and a medium fine. So, for instance, I took the liberty to look this up because it is a course, right? I did a little course, informational course. California, you get up to $10,000 fine or 1 year in jail. It says the spouse of a bigamist can be charged $5,000 if she or he knew that the bigamist was married. I thought that was wild. So Usually they'll say, oh, the bigamist is going into jail, but you mess around in California and they say that the accomplice to the bigamist is also going to jail. Florida is where we are. $5,000 fine and or 5 years in jail. My goodness. Okay. Idaho, $2,000 or 3 years in jail. Massachusetts, a fine of $500 and state prison up to 5 years. Michigan, a year in prison and fine up to 500. Minnesota, 5 years in prison and $10,000 in fines. Mississippi up to 10. Mississippi is not playing games. I mean, Mississippi said 10 years in prison, medical license revoked, cannot be appointed to public office. So Mississippi is not playing any games. Montana, 6 months in prison or $500 fine or both. New Mexico is 2 to 7 years in prison. New York is 3 to 4. Oklahoma is 5 years in jail. Oregon is 5 years up to, wow, Oregon, what in the world? Oregon said $100,000 in fines. South Carolina up to 5 years and or $500 in fines. Texas 2 to 10 years in prison and $10,000. And in Vermont, a sentence of not more than 5 years in prison. So some states are bugging. Oregon is saying $100,000. Mississippi will give you 10 years. Take your medical license. So this is why we hear a lot of men say, I'm not going to, that's why you don't get a marriage license. But there's something that happens with that. If you don't have a marriage license, okay. If this person does not have security, they don't have anything to fall back on. This can also play. So while the male is trying to protect his assets and protect himself in the event thereof, it also causes a problem on the back end because the woman that you're bringing in, each person that you bring in compromises that particular position of quote wife, right? And so the more you bring in is the more unsettling it is, and he's basically covering his back, and you may experience some issues on the feminine side because they are not secure, especially here. But I'll continue. Penalties for bigamy around the world, sourced from Wikipedia. So we have Australia, it's illegal, 5 years in prison. Belgium, 5 to 10. Brazil, 2 to 6. Canada, illegal under the criminal code. China, up to 2 years in prison. Hong Kong, up to 7. And they go on and on and on. It's interesting. It gets interesting. You get to the Middle East, and Egypt says it is legal if the first wife consents. Eritrea, which is broke off from Ethiopia, says it's up to 5 years in prison. Iceland says it's illegal. Ghana says it's illegal up to 6 months in prison. Remember, Ghana, I find it interesting because Ghana is one of the places that people refer to. Ghana, Nigeria, the whole West Coast, the whole continent. And now they have laws over there that are making it illegal depending on sometimes it depends on your religious affiliation. Israel says it's illegal up to 5 years in prison. Iraq, legal with consent of first wife, rarely practiced. India, legal only for Muslims, up to 10 years in prison for others. Italy says it's illegal. And you can go on and on. The list goes on. I'm not going to read everybody, but the list goes on and on and on and on and on. What is the big deal? Some would say. Okay, Amuna, what are you talking about? And what is the big deal? And why would making the same contract with multiple persons for the same position be a problem? I ask the question again. Why would making multiple contracts for the same position be a problem? Because this is what we're talking about. If you're saying that you're going to move the person, the woman, from being a woman to a wife, then there's going to be some contractual agreement in this space. Things that she's responsible for, things that you're responsible for. So when a man decides to make multiple contracts, because he's saying he has multiple wives, that means he has to have multiple agreements, multiple contractual obligation for the same position. Why is it do we think that many of these places where in other times it did in ancient times there wasn't a problem with, why in this modern day do we think, other than a Western mindset, okay, why do we think in this time that it has become problematic in many of these countries for the man to make multiple contracts for the same position with different people? That's the question I'll add on the table. Again, there's more that's here, but I just kind of wanted to give you an idea of, what's going on around the world when we talk about polygyny, that means America is not the only one who's talking about this construct. Many people are, because it's something that humanity goes to, not just one specific set of people. It's a matter strategy that many people have leaned on. But let me go forward. I'm only going to do this first module. I think this is the end of the beginning of the exploring polygyny module, and then we'll talk about it, and then we'll come back and at another time and do a little more. So basically, there's a homework assignment. Look up the laws of polygyny in your country or state. Detail if there are any laws on the books, what are the penalties, and what are the fines. And then feel free to share. Why do I say this? Because if you pick up an ancient book and you say it's lawful wherever you are, right? But you're presently in a country, or you're presently in a new location, it is important to look at what is on the books, and what, even if you say I'm going to go forward with this marriage strategy, you have to say to yourself, you don't have to, it behooves you to say to yourself, and in, that everyone who's involved should be informed. Because in California, if you're not informed but you're involved, then the accomplice also gets time and also gets fined. You know what I mean? So in anything that we do, I think education is very important. So that's the end of the beginning module of exploring polygyny. What did we learn? To recap, we learned that polygamy is an umbrella term. Under that umbrella is polygyny, um, polyandry, and this concept of kind of like a swinging looking thing, where would they call it today? Open door, open. What they call it today? Open. What they call it, you guys? I don't know why I feel so tired today. Open. Open relationship. Sorry, I don't know why that was so hard for me to remember. Open relationship, which is, you notice I'm trying my best not to give my commentary on the situation, just to present what we already have. Okay. So the homework again was look up in your state, because this is informed. Come to the conversation informed. Look up in your state, what are the laws in your state, in your country? What are the fines and penalties? Or is it legal in your country? Is it legal with a contingency? All of those other things. So let me go back here. Let me go back. Hold on. All right. When I come back another time, I'm going to talk about polygyny worldview. This is the research when I say open marriage. Thank you. This is polygyny worldview. I'm not going to do it now, but when I come back, I'm going to talk about some of the things that I have found. I might have to share for you guys to take a look. So I'll give you one of them now, is to take a look at, because it's not showing my screen. Take a look at some of these documentaries. And this particular one is a short documentary. It's called The Man with Three Wives. And so let me see if I can pull it up here.
Solemn Day is a village in Togo, West Africa. Its residents, members of the Kodakoli tribe, practice Islam. Here, a woman's main role is to serve her husband, and Islam's tolerance of polygamy, the practice of taking more than one spouse at the same time, is in line with many African traditions. Chugadoma Pumpuni is about to wed his third wife.
Is there sound as I'm playing this video? Let me know. Let me know if there was sound. If not, I'm just going to drop this here in the... I should just drop it probably anyway. This is one of the video assignments I'm going to give you guys. Here's one of the video assignments. It was within the course, so I'm going to drop it for you right here. Let me see here. Here you go. Here's one of the video assignments. So I tried to take an unbiased approach to this discussion, in the sense of getting the information without putting my feelings as yet on top of it, right? So you look at places where it's legal. You look at places where they have been doing it for some time, since antiquity. You listen, not just um, listen to have your point proven, but listen to understand. And that's what it took me years. It took me years. And so it took me years to do this study. I didn't just do it overnight. It took me years to do it, to be able to listen, to really understand, for me to come to the conclusion that I did. So that's the video assignment right there. And then here's the question to answer. So the video assignment is in the box. And the question to answer is, name the 2 reasons the woman cited for accepting their polygynous relationship. Because we here, and in many spaces, like to project what happened in the Bible and who did what and X, Y, and Z. But these people who are practicing it in this day and time, they are alive. So they can give you their position on why they're accepting it, what they're accepting, without having to put all the glamour and the glitter and the lip gloss on it. They're telling you. So if you listen to what they're saying, why people say they're doing what they're doing, it will help us not to have to put our own thought processes in there. So this is a short video. How many people want to? I don't know if I can play it right here. And I don't want YouTube coming for the kid, especially because I'm over here fumbling. But this is the first assignment. Watch the little video and then come back and name 2 reasons the women cited for accepting their polygynous relationship. Name 2 reasons the women cited for accepting their polygynous relationship. So, can I put this on mute? I wonder if I could put this on mute or pause or something. Hmm. I don't know how to pause the stream midstream. Is everybody there? Let me know if you're there. Give me a peace, shalom, something. Let me know you're there and you're following along. Because the next part of the course is watching. Let me see how many videos I got here. We got this video. It's 3 videos. It's question and answer from 3 documentaries, really. So this is the first documentary, but it's very short. So I'm wondering if I should give you guys some time to stop this and go watch it and come back. Let me know. Would you like to stop this, watch it, and come back? Or would you like to go watch it and then come back? Moontide, you're in the building. Blessings. Would you like to go watch the video? It's short, like 3 minutes and something, and come back? Or would you like us to end this discussion for you to go watch it and come back? Let me know. If you don't let me know, then I'm going to end the discussion and then come back. How about I just give you all of the assignment and then you come back and you'll be ready. It's like homework, y'all. We give you all of the assignments and then you come back ready to discuss. Oh, no, they didn't. Oh, dang. Oh man, this one was a good one too. Let me tell you one of the great agitations that I experienced. I should have pulled that video down. Let me see if they moved this one too. What I found, here's one. What I found doing this research, that a lot of the videos disappeared. That other video that I had for you was an Iranian documentary. That one was really good. It's all subtitles, but it was really good. Here I have one more for you. And the man, watch it and come back. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I could find that Iranian documentary again. That one was really, really good because it was so telling. It was so telling. Oh, somebody's hating. Ooh, I'm going to go find it now. They got me mad. Ah! Hold on. Let me share this one with you guys. They took the Iranian documentary down. It was a man. Basically, it was a man. You want to watch it and come back? Okay, cool. There was a man. He wasn't satisfied. And this is what, and I'm not just saying that, Amuna's saying that. They interview his mother in the documentary, and his mother basically said, in I'm going to say it in better words than she did, basically that her son loves front, and that's why he keeps taking up all of these women. And so essentially he had 1, 2, and then he went on to 3. he went to get the fourth one, and that's what the documentary is following. The process of him getting the fourth wife, what everybody thought of it, how it affected the family. So let me just do one quick thing to see if I could if that documentary is somewhere else. This is the question for the second documentary. So I gave you the question for the first documentary. This is the question for the second documentary. And let me see if I can find this Iranian documentary. It was called Four Wives and One Husband. That was the name of the documentary. Ooh, I wonder if I pulled that documentary down. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it here. Four Wives. So, uh, so we don't have to go far off to really understand. Boom. Found it, y'all. Yeah. This one is really good. You're gonna need some time for this one. This one is an hour. So I'm gonna end this after I finish giving the homework. I'm gonna end it and come back because it's gonna take some time to watch them and really process what is being said. And let me put the homework question underneath this one. Let me put the homework question underneath this one. And for the Iranian documentary, the question is detail 5 key observations that you learned from this documentary regarding polygyny. So that's the question for this one. So let me put that question under here. So let me recap and then I'll let you guys go enjoy your homework here. Recap. Why is it trying to? Okay. All right. So when you guys come back here, all you have to do is come click the live talk and then live chat and then open it up. And right above it is the documentary to watch. Underneath it is the questions to answer. And then when we come back, we can chop it up. So to recap for those who came in late. This is a polygyny course or understanding polygamy or polygamy 101 that I did some time ago, like a year, 2 years ago. And I decided to say, hey, why not? Why not share it with the YouTube community for free? So this is over at thesoulcenter.com. We went over the definition of polygamy. We went over the types of polygamous marriages. We went over briefly lawful and unlawful polygamous marriages based on your location. One of the assignment was to look up the polygamous or whether it's lawful in your state or and as well as bigamy because we went over that. And if it's not lawful in your state or in your country, then what are the fines or penalties if one see, for instance, like the Mormons in Utah. Utah heavily prosecutes polygyny, but maybe another state doesn't heavily prosecute it. So because of so many polygynists in Utah, they seek to go after people in that particular space, but maybe in another space it's not as prevalent, so they don't. So we went over that, and now we're over polygamy worldview, and hopefully this assignment will help us to understand that this is not just happening in one subsection of the world or somebody had a bright idea and it's going to liberate the melanated community. This is in all spaces for different reasons. The first documentary is The Man with Three Wives. That's very short, so I would say do that one first. The second one is Four Wives and One Husband. That's the Iranian one. And the third one is the one on Mormonism, which is called Lifting the Veil. And so I look forward to you guys coming back so we could continue this discussion. All those wives, and he still go outside of them and lay down with another woman, not his wives. Don't have time for that. Which are you talking about, the documentary, or are you talking about just in general? Let me know if you're talking about in general or if you've seen some of these documentaries before. Not sure, but the reason why I pulled these are because people are actually doing it and they're doing it in spaces that it's accepted. And so they're a little bit more transparent on the reasons why they're doing it. You know what I mean? And I find that very valuable information when we're having these type of conversations. So with that said, we're coming up upon the 40-minute mark. Thank you for those who stuck with me while I'm messing around with this. I'm still not getting the screen to move, but hey, at least we're getting through the content, right? So we'll come back and talk about that sometime this week. We'll come back and talk about these documentaries. So with that said, we're going to have an open forum. So if you would like to be on the open forum after we go through all of this polygamy 101 discussion, then just hit me up, let me know, and then we can arrange an open forum. But for right now, this is just for informational purposes only. With that said, everybody have a blessed night, and we'll talk again soon this week. So do your homework. All right? One.